Assalamualaikum, salam ngibah. Ini adalah Malaysia di Persimpangan P115. Saya Syed Munawar dan rakan saya ni, Johnson. Please introduce yourself.
I am Johnson Chong.
Wow, you're so polite. All of a sudden.
Well, we are on live, but this is Malaysia at the Crossroads, GE50.
Ya, dan rancangan ini kita kemudikan setiap hari pukul 6 petang. Tengok, bunyi macam-macam bunyi masuk dekat studio kita. Punya marhainnya,
Mat rempit.
punya marhainnya rancangan ini. Jadi segala macam, jangan ada bunyi tembak-menembak saja. Okey, ini disiarkan secara langsung setiap petang pukul 6. Jadi anda boleh cadangkan kepada kami juga siapa yang harus ke udara untuk rancangan ini. Johnson nak siapa? Who do you wish to be on air in this show?
On air, aku nak Anwar Ibrahim.
Anwar Ibrahim, we'll try to get him. But go by voting. Kita tanya kepada penonton kita nanti ingin siapa. Jadi dengan undi itu nanti kita akan cuba dapatkan.
What about, can they comment? Our audience can comment?
Why not?
Yes.
Boleh.
Oh, thank you.
Semua yang menonton boleh komen, dan kalau komen itu beradab dan sesuai kita tangani, penerbit saya Suhaili akan bantu untuk kita tunjukkan soalan itu nanti.
Terima kasih. Thank
Siapa
you.
tetamu kita hari ini, Johnson?
Today we have Siti Kasim
Alright.
and Tian Chua.
Let's bring them. Yep, Siti, Tian, apa khabar?
Okey, maaf dalam keadaan yang kurang sesuai dalam kereta.
Tian, dalam tempoh sekarang ni memang dijangkakan bergerak.
Ya.
Siti dia mungkin kempennya agak berbeza. Jadi selepas ni dia pun akan bergerak berkempen.
And I'll speak English lah.
Silakan. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'm sure that you are encountering some flood in Kuala Lumpur, right?
You're referring to Tian?
Mr. Tian.
Yeah.
Including Batu.
Yeah.
So that is the flavor of this election,
Right.
wettest general election and the mother of all elections. Do you agree that Zahid Hamidi, what he said, this is the mother of all elections?
Who you want to go first?
I don't.
Siapa? Siti, go ahead, jump.
Siti. Ibu segala.
Well, for him lah. I think untuk dia memanglah dia rasa is the mother of all election because his life depends on it. For us, it's just another election, it's not something that, it is something every 5 years as a citizen we must do. So for him, it is a matter of life and death, I suppose. That's why for him, it's mother of election.
What do you say, Tian? Is this the mother of all elections?
I think every politician is going to call the mother of all war, the mother of all election. This become a cliche. But that doesn't deny that this election is very important. It is the first election. UMNO Barisan Nasional stand not as the dominant ruling party, but it is a party that has been defeated last round and aiming to recapture power, aiming to become dominant again. So this is important for both those who oppose UMNO as well as those in the Barisan Nasionals on the side of Barisan Nasional. So that description maybe a bit sounds like a cliche, but yet it doesn't deny the critical what's it called? The importance of this general election G15.
Klise atau tidak, ianya merupakan ibu kepada segala PRU atau tidak, hakikatnya ini buat pertama kali pilihan raya tidak ada pattern, tidak ada trend, tidak ada bacaan, tidak ada unjuran projection yang boleh dibuat awal-awal. Antara sebabnya kerana belahan yang terlalu banyak, termasuk kandidat seperti kalian, Tian dan Siti, semua menghurung Parlimen Batu ni. Seven. You never know, probably it's going to be 8 or 9. Tian.
Saya rasa bukan saja Batu, tapi banyak tempat lagi akan menghadapi multiple candidate dan itu juga sebahagian daripada proses di mana tidak ada mana-mana blok yang boleh dikatakan dominan, dan juga ini sedikit sebanyak juga mencerminkan bahawa sekarang kontradiksi dalam arena politik itu seolah-olahnya sebelum pilihan raya tidak dapat kalau bahasa Inggeris consult. Maksudnya ialah segala gelundingan yang telah berlaku, pertembungan yang berlaku selama 4 tahun itu selepas PRU 14 ini, walaupun banyak telah berlaku, yang saya maksudkan ialah rundingan, pertembungan di antara pelbagai blok ini, tapi akhirnya tidak dapat mencapai satu muafakat, tidak ada konsensus, dan keputusan yang dibuat oleh Perdana Menteri itu ialah serah kepada rakyat untuk dibagi mandat semula. Jadi saya rasa yang kita lihat yang pelbagai corner, banyak parti, banyak yang telah muncul untuk bertanding ini hanya boleh dikatakan tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
Can I just
Okay, bagi Siti dulu. Sila.
Okay, saya bukan bidang terjun tiba-tiba dia masuk Batu. Saya sudah announce, saya sudah siarkan setahun lebih yang saya akan bertanding di Batu. Okay, dan sekarang ini kita tengok ada tiba-tiba ramai masuk yang independent. Tiba-tiba saya dengar lah, even Mr. Tian Chua, saya dengar dia pun nak masuk juga. Walaupun beliau adalah daripada PKR. Saya tak tahulah sama ada dia sudah resign daripada PKR atau tidak. Dan juga ada satu wanita muda yang juga tiba-tiba masuk. So saya bukan tiba-tiba decide untuk masuk ya. Saya sudah plan lama untuk masuk ke Batu kerana saya telah membuat kajian kenapa saya patut memilih Batu. Dan saya rasa kenapa Batu begitu ramai, kalau mengikut apa yang ramalan lah, saya dengar ada 7 orang kan yang daripada PN, daripada BN, daripada PKR, daripada independent ada daripada warisan, daripada independent ada lagi kalau Mr. Tian Chua masuk, that means ada 3 independent. Ini yang kita ramalan orang lain lah. Jadi kenapa yang tiba-tiba ramai ni? Kerana macam kami macam saya dari gerak independen, kami telah cuba berjumpa dengan Parti Harapan sudah berbulan. Maksudnya daripada awal tahun lagi, supaya kita boleh bekerjasama dari segi tidak berebut tempat ya. Tetapi malangnya pihak parti-parti ini tidak mahu menerima kita punya offer lah untuk bekerja dengan mereka. Pada saya ini adalah kerana pihak parti-parti ini tamak dengan kerusi. Dia mahu kerusi dia juga supaya dia tidak hilang kerusi macam PKR lah di tempat Batu lah ya. So, dia tidak mahu memberi kerusi dia kepada sesiapa. Dan itu yang saya nampak.
Siti. So we acknowledge that nobody owns any seat, whether you have been there for 10 terms or just a new term, you are Anwar Ibrahim, you are whoever, nobody owns any seat. Now, what I want to follow up on is what Tian Chua said just now. He said that now the Prime Minister serah kepada rakyat to decide. But the question is this a level playing field? Is this 14 days, this election, is it going to give all the contestants a fair chance, right? The resources are different. The independents only have 50,000 ringgit, for example, but some parties may have 5 million ringgit at their disposal. Now, is SPR going to look into this? Are they really going to check the expense? Is this a level playing field?
Siti.
Obviously
No.
not.
Tian. This is for Tian. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, tak apa. Siti dah mula menjawab. Sila Siti. Ya.
Siti dulu lah. Dia dah mula cakap.
Okey, Siti dulu. Sila Siti.
Tuan Tian Chua, terima kasih. Okay, obviously not a level playing field. For someone like me, an independent, I have to beg my supporters and people to donate to me if they believe in me. And so, it's not easy, but due to good planning and everything, we have done, with assistance from my volunteers. So we have managed to get where we are right now. So, obviously SPR should look into this, into political financing, where the money coming from. This is one of the things that, in this country we have failed to look at. Kita kena memastikan bahawa setiap kandidat dia mesti secara telus menunjukkan di mana mata wang mereka atau donation yang mereka dapat
Akta dana politik. Ya, Tian nak menjawab tadi. Sila Tian.
Saya rasa saya nak jawab dalam dua aspek. Aspek pertama, ya memang dalam negara ini masih banyak kelemahan dan kecacatan dalam undang-undang dari segi mengawal level playing field tadi, pernyataan politik dan juga perbelanjaan untuk pilihan raya. Itu dari satu segi adalah satu proses reformasi yang kita sentiasa harus mengikuti. Tapi dengan soalan yang lebih penting ialah, adakah tanpa level playing field ini atau tanpa kesamarataan dari segi sumber, dari segi kekuatan dan juga segi akses kepada media ini akan mengubah pilihan rakyat? Jawapan saya ialah selepas PRU 14, ia tidak. Sebab selama 4 tahun rakyat sudah mempertimbangkan dan diberi peluang untuk menilaikan blok mana yang telah perform, blok mana yang tidak perform. Mereka ada banyak pilihan. 4 tahun kita telah uji sama ada PH telah buat kerja yang baik dalam 22 bulan. Kemudian kita ada PN, kemudian ada Barisan Nasional, dan Barisan Nasional membawa rekod 60 tahun pemerintah. Jadi bagi saya, kalau ketiga-tiga blok ini tidak dapat sokongan rakyat, sudah tentu rakyat yang cerdik, pandai ini akan memilih pilihan alternatif yang lain. Jadi bagi saya, walaupun masih wujud banyak kecurangan dari segi level playing field penyertaan pilihan raya, tapi saya tidak rasa ia akan mengganggu atau menukar corak pemilihan pilihan rakyat, kerana saya amat yakin bahawa rakyat sekarang matang untuk memilih secara rasional.
Okay, if I may follow. Okay, so one second, Siti. So Tian Chua, to follow up on that. So how do you expect to win this election, right? Because there are 6 other contestants, and what are the issues that you are running on?
No, okay. Before I talk about the issues, I just want to go back in there. Even Barisan Nasional can spend 800 million or 1 billion. I don't think it's going to change the perception of the rakyat towards them. Unless they are going straight to the people's house and just hand over the money to them and say, you support me. Which I think SPR currently has quite good mechanism after the Cameron Highland by-election. It shows that if you do that, there's mechanism to stop it. So I don't see now, even with enormous advantage over financial, doesn't mean that you can fool the rakyat anymore.
Okay, Siti, sebelum Siti menjawab, apabila Siti mengatakan bahawa sudah ada perundingan awal dengan Pakatan Harapan tetapi kemudian tidak disambut dengan baik, ingin bertanding secara bersendirian, keluar pula kenyataan selepas itu mengatakan bahawa kalau Siti menang, Siti akan masih align kepada Pakatan Harapan. Jadi artinya semangatnya masih Pakatan Harapan. It's just a matter of you want to win yourself. Bukan soal semangat yang cuba dibawa oleh Pakatan Harapan itu sendiri. You are being selfish. Memecahkan lagi undi, Siti.
Kalau Pakatan Harapan akan bersuara seperti saya, talking about the elephant in the room, kerana pada pandangan saya penggunaan agama di dalam kerajaan oleh orang-orang politik sudah amat berleluasa dan tidak langsung being touched by Pakatan Harapan. Okay, don't talk about BN or PN or whatever, but Pakatan Harapan. So, if they can't talk about these so-called sensitive issues, so I will talk about it. Because in my eyes, the use of religion in our politics is the cause of all of the problems in Malaysia. Corruption, the education system. So where is the Pakatan voices with regards to this elephant in the room? So they have not touched and they will not touch about it because...
But then why are you aligned to PH then? In that case, you don't need to align to PH. You can be entirely independent all the way. You don't have to declare that if I win, then I'm going to support PH. Seemingly, you're trying to appease to those pro-PH. You're being selfish.
It's not...
Okay. All right.
It's to choose the lesser devil, okay? So...
Okay. So is it fair to say...
A government has to be formed.
Is it fair to say that most of the policies you are okay with PH, but on this issue, separating religion from politics, they don't seem to be speaking about? I hear you on that, but I want to ask this question. In Batu, on this issue, does it make any difference to the people in Batu? Would they vote for you because of that?
Yes, I have spoken to many people and explained why this is my manifesto and why this is important to all Malaysians, not just Batu. If we can get this, to plant this idea onto the people that we can do it, then they understand that it flows down like dominoes, okay? So the moment we can stop these politicians from using religion as their weapon, then only we can cure our education, we can cure our infrastructure, because there won't be any cronyism, there won't be any working under the table. This is why these politicians wants to remain in power, so that using religion as their tool, and they will remain in power. They can continue stealing and robbing the country under the table without us seeing it. Yes.
Okay. Tian, coming back to, I'm supposed to ask in Malay, lupa. Tian Chua. Tian, sekurang-kurangnya Siti sudah mengatakan dia sudah ada proses perundingan setahun ya sebelum ditolak, akhirnya tidak dipersetujui oleh PKR. In your case, Batu dah crowded. Penuh dengan batu. Tapi masih memilih Batu. Apa patut?
Saya tidak secara terlalu awal untuk menyatakan pencalonan saya dulu, tapi saya ingin sebut bahawa pengundi di Batu ada concern mereka tertentu. Saya tidak ingin sedikit pun menidakkan passion yang telah dibawa oleh saudari Siti Kasim. Saya pun tidak rasa sesuai dalam keadaan ini untuk membahas tentang perkara ini. Saya secara prinsipnya menghormati pandangan beliau. Cuma bagi saya sebagai seorang ahli parlimen yang telah hadir di Batu hampir 20 tahun, saya menyedari bahawa pengundi-pengundi di Batu atau penduduk-penduduk Batu mempunyai satu concern yang agak berbeza, atau mempunyai concern yang agak berbeza. Iaitu sesuatu perkara yang semasa saya sebagai ahli parlimen telah memberi tumpuan yang utama, iaitu Batu ini adalah di Metropolitan Kuala Lumpur dan sering dalam perancangan ekonomi.
Sangkut-sangkut.
Okay, the line is down.
Yep.
So in the meantime, Siti, can you tell us a bit more about your other policies that you will stand for?
of course, the local concerns will be attended, if I am elected. It's not something that I'm not aware. The problems in Batu, with the sampah not being cleaned out, near the pasar area, the infrastructure, the people are not being consulted when new buildings are being put up, and all these are systemic problems. If Tian Chua have been saying that he's been there for so long, why is it still prevalent until now? That means it's not being effective. For years, PKR has been holding Batu. What kind of changes have they made? The road is back, so
we got that point.
That he has succeeded in the concerns.
All right, we got that point, and a viewer has asked a very good question. You mentioned education earlier, so how do you intend to improve the education system in Malaysia?
It's all
Question
about
from Hong Lung Lam.
who are
Say
you
again?
asking? Sorry, are you asking?
Hon Lung Lam is yes.
Are you asking-
Tian Chua has
Yeah.
disappeared. So is you and us.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Very, very simple. It's all about political will, The issue here is that when, this is all interrelated, this use of religion by the politicians, and when they become government, they hold the minister, what position in the education ministry, and so they are the one who should be improving the system, taking away all these, religious, and concentrate on science, mathematics, and science and mathematics. Okay.
English.
Language.
Sorry?
Language. Yeah.
Yes.
Language.
Yeah, they should be more focusing on advancing our children's knowledge in terms of maths, science, and language.
Okay. Can I just stop you there? Now, I have been an educator before, and one of the things that I find that is missing, right, in the children's education is not focused on very much is social emotional learning, right? So how do you intend to deal with this aspect of education? Because making the curriculum more difficult, that's become a problem even for teachers, much less students. But how do you make them have better essential skills? Some people call it soft skills, but these are essential skills: communication, critical thinking, creativity, collaboration. What do you think? How should the Ministry of Education improve this side of education?
Well, I have written articles about this many years ago. Actually, just Google it. But very simple to me. Go back to the 70s or early 80s. The system in which I went through. Okay, I have only one religious lesson in 1 week, and it's not compulsory to pass. So they concentrate more on science, maths, and all that. And we have civic classes. Okay, and we don't have two canteens, both halal, one for Malay and one for non-Malay. So this is the problem. It is not just about the syllabus. It is about the teachers, about the workforce, about the ministry. It is a whole lot of problem. There is a chain problem. Look at what happened to the Indian girl in the school. How can anyone, any right-minded teacher, if she is not influenced by her own belief, that asking her to relieve her, this potu and things like that, there is no compassion anymore. It's all about.
Okay, but that's not what I'm talking about. I don't think by just having agama class or whatever religious class you will have better social emotional skills. Putting that aside, what do you think students should be exposed to more, or teachers should be focusing on, so that they have these essential skills?
We should follow. I think our government sent a lot of our so-called government officers to overseas to study how other countries are doing. Why are their children better than ours? Then look at the Chinese school, the vernacular schools. Why are the Chinese school children doing better than our national schools? This must be studied. I mean, you're asking me to actually give you an answer in which I'm not an educator, I'm a lawyer. But
Right.
I only see this from the perspective as a citizen, and I see many wrongs because we are not producing productive, good kind of children coming out from our
Baik.
schools and even universities.
We'll move on to other issues. Bila kedua-dua calon ingin isytihar harta? Tian?
Saya tidak rasa itu adalah satu perkara yang perlu dilakukan pada setakat ini. Pengisytiharan harta itu harus dibuat selepas dipilih dan juga sekiranya dilantik sebagai pejabat awam. Saya rasa calon isytihar harta ini lebih kurang sudah menjadi gimmick politik yang tidak bermakna untuk pengundi-pengundi.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
So this question is
Same question to Siti.
all right.
Bila nak isytihar?
Well, as Tian Chua said, I agree. If you are elected, then you must declare your asset.
You must. Okay,
But
fine.
for calon, there's no point because why would a calon actually declare if they don't
Yep.
win? And the public already know about what
Yeah, but we must make it compulsory after winning.
Okay.
At least hold on to promise.
Okay.
Ada banyak soalan di Facebook sebenarnya. Apa?
Okay,
Silakan.
so two related questions here. Number one, obviously, declaring your assets is about whether there's a chance you might be corrupt, right? But having a lot of money doesn't mean you are corrupt, right? So my question then is, do you think, because there is a suggestion now that people with charges against them in court for corruption should not contest? What do you think?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. As a lawyer, obviously, I follow the law. According to the law, they are still entitled to run. So, I mean, if you want to change, although no matter how much we despise the court clusters, then you ought to get the parliament to change the law, make it much more clearer. This is what I have always said, that, our parliamentarians, they are not doing their job properly. They are not repairing or amending law to make it clearer. Look at the stateless children. Look at the women, the women with their children born abroad. There is an argument about father, this unfairness between mother and fathers. This is because, the wordings are not clear according to the court. So make it clearer. Orang asli, why won't the government, Pakatan Harapan, 2 years, why won't the Gazette make a clear law to recognize the rights of the orang asli land? Okay, so this is the problem I have with the MPs right now, no matter from what section, because they don't do what they are supposed to do. It's all talk.
What do you say, Tian?
Well, I agree. Legally, you cannot stop people who are not yet convicted from standing. By right, if you talk about human rights perspective, even convicts should be allowed to contest, because we are
Convicts
returning
allowed to contest. Are you saying Najib should be allowed to
we are
contest?
Returning, I say so. From a universal human rights perspective, I mean, they should be allowed, because we are returning the mandate to people. We know the famous bandit queen in India. The people decided to choose her, so that is their right.
Okay.
But what we should do is we should have a stronger anti-corruption law. We are not trying to be punitive to people who have court cases. When you say convicted, including people like me, has been convicted, you have different type of conviction. So
Okay, so Tian. So let's be very specific here.
Yeah.
If Najib were allowed by SPR or whatever government authority to run, you would agree with that?
Let's not use if. I'm saying that currently the law does not allow Najib to run. That is a convicted thing that you are convicted for.
And you are talking
crime.
about universal human rights.
I'm talking about when they are what's it called? When they are not convicted as innocent, they should be allowed to ride in our Malaysian law. Okay. I'm talking about if in an ideal world, in a situation where human rights is respected, so you don't discriminate people who are convicted or not convicted. So you are allowing the people to make a choice.
All right. We are not in an ideal world, obviously.
Yeah.
Actually, I would say the better example rather than the bandit queen. Okay. Yeah. Siti.
I have to say something about these human rights. You know, don't abuse the word or human rights. The human rights, there is a limit as well. You know, I mean, you can't be, freedom of expression doesn't mean you can actually threaten someone online and actually say whatever you like. So there is a line that has been drawn. Okay, the same with conviction. And when we talk about someone abuse their position and power, and they have been convicted, and what kind of human rights are we talking about? You know, I mean, this is we are not talking about his human rights to actually stand again.
Let me clarify.
Okay,
The current law do not allow anyone who is convicted more than 2,000 ringgit. Okay, I'm very clear. More than 2,000 ringgit, you cannot contest. If you are in prison more than 1 year, you are not allowed to contest. It's a general conviction. It didn't say if you are convicted on a corruption crime. Okay, it means that if you demonstrate like me, got convicted for more than 1 year, I cannot contest. Same as Najib, when he's got convicted for 12 years, he cannot contest. But what I'm saying is, amendments must be made to anti-corruption law to specify only the corrupted one we want to bar them. But in a general human rights, other form of conviction should not be discriminated. That's why I try to
say. Good point. So we do not want political persecution, right? So good point. But let's move on a little bit. Hang on, Siti. Let's move on. We don't want to dwell on this issue. This is the mother of all elections. What do you think politicians should be focusing on? The economy, possibly another pandemic? What is it? What should be the main focus of this general election?
Siti.
Why me all the time lah? Ask Tian Chua first lah.
Okay.
Sebab Tian baru saja menjawab. Apalah, mana-mana je. Sila.
Very brief. Sebab I pun tak boleh lama sangat. I would say that for this election, I will urge, I mean, regardless I contest or not contest, regardless of who from the party, I would like to urge 3 main issues should be the focus on electoral debate. First of all, when we have the election during this flood season, we should remind everybody that the humanity crisis of climate change is real. So let's try to put aside whatever differences, because in this grand cosmic, really our differences is too small for the planet. So we have to really seriously trying to see all the political parties come out with a proper climate action. That's the first thing. Secondly, following the achievement of last GE 14, it is issues of good governance. Let's not treat corruption issue as a revengeful thing. When I win, I caught the other group. When the other group win, they're trying to hit at another group. Let's try to move towards issues that law that can be changed to ensure good governance, ensure corruption-free society, etc. The last one, which I also think very important, is that how do we really create sufficient safety net in the post-COVID situation. The recovery plan must include comprehensive things that helping the businesses, helping creation of employment, and provide sufficient safety net for the aged, for the disadvantaged, and for those people who are left out in the especially the economic downturn. So that, to me, these are the three broad issues I would like to see all political parties and all individuals who contest debate around that, rather than issues that only hitting each other. Agree with what Siti said, religion, racism, and etc. etc.
Okay, Tian, before you leave, sebelum Siti menjawab soalan yang sama, because Tian has given an indication he's going to leave early. There are so many questions to you from our viewers. Saya nak lontar dulu kepada Tian. Saya lihat tadi Palan Ali Alani bertanya tentang adakah Tian akan bertanding di Batu. Ya, dia telah mengesahkan itu. Tetapi ada K bertanya, dia kata, if you don't bother to debate, why run in the first place? Itu yang disebut oleh K.
I didn't say
fine.
I didn't
Jadi
bother.
sudah menjawab.
Just now I have just debated. I mean, I said on the issue of what Siti say about her passion about the religion and that is at the cause of problem. I have no issues about that. I don't want to debate about this. But I was saying that Batu people has a slightly different concern. The Batu is in the middle of the city. Urban poor is real. It's a big serious problem. For the last 2 terms that I was here, my main focus have been trying to speak for those people who are B40, the Mahain, the housing issue, etc. etc. Okay, that's
saya cuba nak beri ruang Tian menjawab K, sebab K memberi gambaran bahawa Tian tidak mahu berdebat dan Tian memberi kata dia bersedia untuk berdebat. Soalan yang sama daripada Johnson.
Okay, fine. Takkanlah saya datang sini kan.
Terima kasih datang lagi ya. Jangan keluar dulu. Soalan yang sama daripada Johnson kepada Siti. What would be the
main focus of this GE15? What are the critical issues you think for Malaysia and the politicians as leaders who should talk about these things rather than stabbing each other and attacking each other? What are the real issues that concern Malaysians that we should tackle?
Yes, as I have said many times, from my perspective, the real elephant in the room is the use of religion by politicians. Now, why I say that is really the problem, if you want to call it the mother of all problems, okay? Because using religion is, when they use religion, which is in this country is Islam.
Okay. Can I stop you there? Siti, Siti, we've got that point. Use of religion, and I agree with you. Okay, but I want to share something with you. I want to share something with you. I want to talk about the Manifesto Rakyat. I think Gerak Independent has sort of endorsed this. Can you tell us, apart from the first thing, cultural identity and religious harmony, what about the other issues, right? I think this is a fantastic initiative by this civil society organization. But what do you think of the Manifesto Rakyat?
I am in the group, actually. The Manifesto Rakyat was drafted by the CSO. I was, in the group. Well, I am still in the group that come up with the Manifesto Rakyat, drafted by mainly, I think, from Pusat Komas or maybe GBM. But yeah, of course, as I said, we have massive problems in Malaysia. What Tian Chua was saying just now is the result of our poor governance. Okay, why I say poor governance is because these people who are governing us, holding the ministry position, holding the position in, like the director or whatever, they are not fit to be running these ministries. This is the problem I see. And why I'm saying that the core issue I see is the use of religion, because they actually use the religious, or they use the religious views
Okay.
the views and implement it in their department,
Akan.
and then it affects the business, it affects
Yeah,
the
Siti.
education. And wait,
If
I
you-
want to
if
say
you-
about Batu. You know, the people in Batu
Yes.
send their children to school as well, and their children are also affected by the poor system in our school. So how do we rectify that? You know, the people in Batu, the businesses, all the, you know, they are the business people telling me that they cannot buy eggs, they cannot buy chicken and all that. Where do you think this problem came from? You know, it came from the government. So, you know, whatever the problems of Batu people are experiencing is because we have poor government. Yes.
Do you have a question?
Are we supposed to end this session by half?
Not yet.
Not yet.
But
Okay.
I like what you said, Siti. I used to think like that. All the problems we have are caused by the government. But now I think otherwise. The government, the elected politicians is a reflection of us. So to me, if we don't come out to vote, don't, complain, then you just accept the government that you have. What do both of you have to say about these voters saying, oh, we don't want to vote because it's all going to be ending up the same anyway?
Yeah.
Tian. Well,
Tian, can you have Tian, because I think Tian needs to go soon.
Yeah. Rabin dah banyak tadi tanya. Memang Tian akan bertanding di Batu. Rabin keep on asking whether you're going to contest in Batu. So I just need...
Kita berkempen. I was part of Bersih. I was part of many of the movement that trying to urge people not to be apathetic, to come out to vote, to make a stand. For me, it doesn't matter what stand you will take, as long as you actively participate in deciding the country futures. So certainly agree that we have to make effort to allow people to vote, and that's part of the reason why some of the people are quite upset when they choose timing like this, big flood, rain, and end of the year, very heavy, very high transport price, buying ticket will be very expensive. This is irresponsible for the current government to dissolve the parliament in this sort of situation.
Ya, soalan Johnson tadi kepada Siti.
Well, I agree 100% with what you're saying, and the same what Tian Chua is saying is that, you know, the decision to actually do the general election now is completely mind-boggling to right-minded people. I concur very much with what Tian Chua is saying, irresponsible of Ismail Sabri in doing this. And I also say, yes, the government that you choose is a reflection of who you are as well as voters in the country. And unfortunately in Malaysia, many voters, they feel like, I don't want to get involved with politics, so I don't want to vote, I don't care, things like that. So why is this? It's about education again. It's about teaching the children, the responsibilities that they bear, as a nation, as a citizen. Again, it goes back to whoever.
Okay, kalian dua-dua mengkritik tentang bad governance, tadbir urus yang lemah. Tetapi dengan option yang terhad, siapa yang patut menjadi Perdana Menteri?
Bagi saya itu bukan soalan yang paling relevan lah. Bagi saya isu sekarang tidak ada, kita ingin melakukan reformasi, iaitu
tetapi
reformasi ini bukan kita tumpukan tanggungjawab itu kepada seorang. Dia datang daripada parti-parti politik yang akan bakal dipilih dan juga ahli-ahli parlimen dan juga kabinet yang akan dibentuk. Jadi jangan kita terlalu fokus dalam isu siapa Perdana Menteri, seolah-olah kalau kita pilih seorang Perdana Menteri yang betul, dia akan selesai semua masalah dia. Saya tidak subscribe dalam pandangan ini. Tapi seakhirnya dalam ini, proses pendemokrasian kita ialah kita ingin melihat sistem kita makin matang di mana ahli-ahli politik boleh menjadi lebih matang untuk berunding dan mencapai national consensus bagaimana kita ingin membangunkan negara itu.
Okay. You just mentioned the magic word, national consensus. Now, I don't know about other people. I'm not a political analyst. We will have Professor James Chin coming to join us very soon. Not today, but another time, in a couple of days, right?
Yeah, possibly.
Now, I have this question. It is obvious to me it's going to be a hung parliament. Nobody is going to have a majority. Is it possible, right? Is it possible that because this is a friend of Siti Kasim's, let's say, I know this is fantasy land, let's say an independent candidate wins. Can the three major blocks or four say, okay, we want this person, Taufik Ismail, or another independent, whoever it may be, Cleo, let's say, to be the Prime Minister? Is that possible?
Siti lah pula.
You want me to
Siti?
again? I said
Siti, I want Siti to answer
lah
this.
pula. Nanti dia kata dia tak diberi ruang pula.
Yeah. Siti jawab.
I will have to respond because he is the one who raised about that, what Johnson is saying. So let him respond first.
Okay, anybody?
All right.
From what he
Okay.
again, I
Tian?
don't say that I don't believe that it has to be coming from the Prime Minister. The national consensus has to be built by every single member of parliament, by the constituency yang mereka wakili, supaya mereka akan runding. Dalam proses membina national consensus ini, memanglah kita akan lihat banyak kontradiksi, banyak pertembungan, banyak pembahasan. Tapi saya rasa itu adalah fenomena yang sihat. Dan ada kala kerana kita menghadapi fenomena politik baru ini, kita terlalu biasa dengan satu parti yang dominan, kita tidak biasa dengan selalu tukar, ada banyak parti dengan pelbagai suara dan pandangan. Itu menjadikan kita tidak biasa dan kata ini politik makin kecoh. Tapi saya rasa itu proses yang necessary untuk mencapai national consensus.
Soalan yang sama, Siti.
Very interesting lah dia menggunakan perkataan national consensus kan. Kalau national consensus, I don't think saya rasa so-called dia punya leadership lah kononnya sekarang ni. Kalau Pakatan Harapan, semua Pakatan Harapan coalition kata okay, Anwar Ibrahim is the leader, so he is the potential PM, and then BN pula kata Zahid Hamidi is their ni kan. So that's not really national consensus lah. The it is the party consensus, it's not national consensus.
Yeah.
Ideally for me, it will be the rakyat pilih the PM, okay? The rakyat.
Presidential system.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
If they again go back to MPs, they like what is going on in the parliament. They like the party control the MPs, and the leader will be from their political party. So they don't want to change. Now, this is why political parties in Malaysia will not work to improve Malaysia, because I don't see any of the political parties wanting to change the system. Okay. So we rakyat must take this back to our hand. Don't leave it to the political parties, because they are running our life based on their decision. Who is going to be our leader? Whether we like it or not. So it's
tapi untuk mengubah sistem tak boleh dengan bertanding sebagai independen.
Kenapa?
Well,
apa yang dia boleh ubah kalau tidak mendapat undi?
Dia boleh kerjasama dengan siapa yang menang.
Tapi dia tidak akan dapat mengubah struktur kalau dia bercakap atas kapasiti dia sebagai individu.
Betul.
Ada
I'm starting the ball rolling. Somebody has to plant the seed, okay? Kalau tak ada orang macam saya nak bersuara, tak ada.
You're not the first to argue about that. I mean, I also agree. We need to change the system. Tapi kalau nak mengubah presidential ke apa, dia akan perlukan itu debat lain. Cuma ada soalan yang bertalu-talu ditanyakan. Mungkin kerana Siti yang tampil. Tapi soalan yang sama juga ditanyakan kepada Tian. Apa sikap kedua-dua terhadap LGBTQ? Siapa dulu? Siti dulu.
Very simple.
What's your
I've
perception?
always been the defenders of any oppressed community, okay? Sesiapa komuniti yang ditekan oleh pihak-pihak kerajaan atau institusi, saya akan defend mereka. Tak kiralah mereka LGBT atau mereka orang asli ataupun pihak macam Syiah atau Ahmadiyah, mereka adalah komuniti yang ditekan oleh pihak-pihak kerajaan.
What about communists? Would you protect the communists? Would you defend the communists?
Why you mention communists? We don't have communists actually here, okay?
No, I mean they are an oppressed group in Malaysia. I think that if this is an ideal world, I'll be a communist.
No, Johnson. We are talking about community whose lives are just.
Okay, I get your point. That is a good answer. I get you. Okay, let's go to Tian. What's your answer to that? LGBT.
Kalau dari segi hak asasi, saya rasa tidak siapa-siapa yang harus didiskriminasikan. Pun siapa-siapa pun harus dibela hak dia dan tidak boleh disalahguna kuasakan. Bagi saya itu adalah satu perkara yang sekiranya kita telah meletakkan undang-undang yang betul, semua komuniti harus dibela. Bagi saya itu bukan isu. Tapi saya telah sebut tadi, apa yang di hadapan kita pada PRU ke-15 adalah perkara yang saya tetapkan tadi, saya sebut tadi. Bila kita masuk dalam isu-isu yang bukan dalam prioriti rakyat, bukan saja tidak akan membantu dalam isu ini, dia akan merumitkan dan kita fokus dalam perkara yang akan akhirnya tidak semestinya membantu mereka yang tertindas dan juga akan merosakkan agenda yang besar yang saya sebut tadi untuk membina national consensus. Saya ingin sebut balik, national consensus ini tidak bergantung kepada Perdana Menteri. Ia bergantung kepada setiap parti. Ia bergantung kepada ahli-ahli parlimen yang mewakili pelbagai konstituensi.
Okey. Kita nak mengucapkan terima kasih kepada kedua-dua Siti dan juga Tian. Kita tak perlu bersetuju dengan semua pandangan, tetapi kita memberikan ruang untuk semua memberikan pandangan. Itu yang penting. Kena rajin mendengar dan bersabar.
Thank you.
Masih
Thank
lagi
you thank you for sharing your thoughts. I hope this has been also useful or helpful for voters, especially the young voters. So like I said earlier, we may invite you back again. So please don't take any of our questions too seriously. After all, life is not.
No, I beg to differ. Mereka nak bertanding. Mereka kena ambil soalan kita seriously. Sebab kita rakyat.
Alright. Fair enough. So we will let Siti and Tian go first.
Yeah.
Enjoy your dinner. And we will catch up again. All the best in your campaign.
Jadi terima kasih sekali lagi. Kami masih ada bersama di studio Swahili. Kami masih ada. Okay, terima kasih. So, antara dua tu, Johnson, kalau dua ni bertanding, Johnson vote siapa?
Aku nak vote Jolo. Ada nampak tak? Dalam gambar 7 orang tu, ada seorang macam Jolo.
Dia pakai kopiah, tapi dia bukan Jolo. Ni kejam dia nak pilih Jolo.
Okay. Seriously, tadi you asked me if I had a choice who to come onto the show. I cancel lah. I know Brian tak relevan. Aku nak Fahmi Reza, kuasa siswa. Itu saya nak dengar dia
tapi dia tidak bertanding.
Dia tak bertanding, tapi dia profesor. Sekarang dia ajar politik dengan TikTok.
Ramai profesor kita boleh bukan dia saja.
Ini profesor aku rasa lebih penting.
Okey, tak apalah. Saya tak ada masalah nak invite siapa pun. Yang penting kita nak mengasuh pendengar kita untuk mendengar pelbagai pandangan dan decide.
Okay.
Bukan taksub.
Sure.
So, kalau Fahmi Reza datang, siapa gandingannya nanti, kita nak minta penonton lah untuk bagi cadangan pada kita.
Please vote. Put the guests that you would like to see on this show and more thumbs up. We will invite
panggil. Okey, jadi kita akan kudara setiap pukul 6 petang. Mudah-mudahan sempat untuk kita live setiap masa. Ni sibuk, dia sibuk berkempen.
Jangan macam tu lah.
Okay. Okey, so terima kasih kerana perhatian. Banyak soalan yang ditangani tadi dan ini sebenarnya adalah episod debut pertama ni. Dan
Yes.
kita sudah dapat banyak soalan. Jangan lupa untuk terus kekal subscribe dan like
And
Malaysia
tell
360.
your friends about it. Pakai WhatsApp ke Telegram.
Ini lain. Buat bicara lain daripada yang lain.
Okay.
Anda akan terkejut.
Co-host pun lain.
Tapi kata nak tukar-tukar?
Nantilah.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Syed Munawar dan Johnson sign off.
Thank
Jumpa lagi.
you.